welcome to Trashy Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and a look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I am your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Hello and welcome from Tejas.
Ooh, how is Tejas?
It's pretty good. I will say that the Wi-Fi of my Airbnb is a little shaky, so you listeners might be finding yourself listening to a minisode.
Oh my goodness. Well, I just got back from Oklahoma, north of Tejas, and my flight my first flight got canceled yesterday, and then they rebooked me on a longer layover flying out of Houston, and then my layover in Houston turned into from 3 hours to 5.5.
What airline was this?
You know what it was? It was Southwest.
No.
Of course.
Wow.
That's why I famously threw them away.
You know, it's crazy is that I might be throwing away an airline today.
Ooh.
So I don't know. We'll
save it.
Yeah, I'm saving it. I'm saving it for the listeners about 15 minutes from now. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know how long this episode's going to be. Why are you trash?
Okay, well, I've been in Oklahoma and I reverted back to many of my Oklahoma ways.
You're back in LA now, though, right?
I'm back. I am back.
Okay.
But I was cooking breakfast the other day, dropped a piece of sausage on the floor, picked it up, rinsed it off, and put it back in the pan without even fucking thinking about it. Like it was like an instinctive, rinse it off, no big deal. And I don't know which piece of sausage it was in the, the huge pan.
I mean, I've done that. Is that bad? I guess.
I think it is.
Like, we have to make compromises in life. It also kind of depends on like how long it was on. I know I don't per se subscribe to the 3-second rule, but like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I do toss that stuff out the more I'm thinking about it because like your shoes are on that floor.
Yes. And during COVID, I feel like the 3-second rule does not apply.
No, it was like a point, but you can't catch COVID from food yet.
Yet. This thing's
until
evolving.
Bill Gates says it to be so.
Exactly. Our overlords, our billionaires.
I've been told by the locals of where I'm at. I'm in Denton, Texas right now, that there is a guy who has 2 cars, both covered in his conspiracy theory beliefs, specifically pertaining to the earth being flat. And it's kind of like when you go to LA and hope you see a celebrity. I'm really, really hoping I see this guy drive by.
I mean, fingers crossed.
Yeah, because I think he's been, from what I hear, he's been delving into the COVID as a hoax conspiracies as well, which makes sense. I mean, like, like if you're a wine lover, like, sure, Cabernet might be your first choice, but every once in a while you're going to dabble with a white if it's the summer. So I think conspiracy theories work very similarly.
Yeah. I was drinking wine with a friend. Shout out to Kelly and her husband, Matt, for hosting me and giving me legal advice for this podcast in a advisory way. They are not licensed in the state of California, so they are unofficially my legal advisors and told us that we may use allegedly wrong.
What?
that we may overuse it and that we can just simply say this is for comedy and or this is my opinion.
Oh.
But
to the top of every episode? I mean, like, I kind of like if we just have a disclaimer that plays at the top of every episode now, like, and everyone's like, fuck, they got in trouble.
I do too. They were like, it's. I'm sure to an actual attorney, it is like nails on a chalkboard to hear us say allegedly.
I guess. I'm sorry, attorney listeners. We love you.
Oh, and Kelly gave a little gift. I have a gift for you that I will present to you next time we're in person.
I love that. I was thinking that we should get tattoos, but we can talk about this later.
Okay, we'll take that offline because I kind of love that, but also
Okay. Cool.
cool. Why are you trash this week?
Okay, so I did a little bit of drinking last night. As to be expected, I'm on vacation. I'm in Texas. Not to say that people in Texas all drink, but like I came to Texas to drink. So we're with a lot of my these people. I consider these people friends, but they were definitely my partner's friends first, and so I haven't known them super long. And just as confident as ever, I said, "Everyone, Ashley has a question." And the person I was talking about is named Kelly.
Oh, no. But you said it with all of the confidence in the world.
Yeah, like just dead ass. But like, here's the problem is that there is another girl in the group who is named Ashley, but she wasn't there. And also my best friend in the world is named Ashley. And I was also like taking shots. Like, what do you want from me? It was humiliating. Everyone started booing me. I'm hoping that no one remembers it, although I am memorializing the moment now. Yeah, it was a bummer. I mean, like, I would have never made that mistake sober, ever. But, you know, I don't know. My mom calls, like, me by, like, her dead dog's name sometimes before she'll finally land on mine. Like, I think that just happens with getting older. Like, where you just, like, name every name that you know until you finally get the one that is right. But
that is wild.
Yeah.
And so funny that they booed you.
I deserved it.
I learned a little family history about names and name changes. So, our name on my mother's side, her mother's maiden name was a French word. And when entering the service, my great grandpa changed the spelling, and it may or may not have been related to some organized crime.
Ooh.
He might have been hiding some outlaws out, like not participating, but helping hide them. So he changed his name when he entered the service in World War II.
Wow.
Isn't that allegedly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
This podcast is intended for comedy, and these are just our opinions.
This is just my opinion, but I learned that there might have been some OG crime in the family.
Wow, I love that. I can see that for you. I don't know why.
Yeah, thank you. I was impressed.
Very. I am too.
Yeah, I didn't think we had it in us, but here we are.
The Currys.
the other side, unfortunately. Oh. Yeah. The Currys keep their noses clean and pointed towards the sky.
Like turkeys?
Like turkeys. Yeah. They keep it clean on both sides, you know?
Is that true that a turkey will just like stare at the rain with its mouth open and drown itself, or is that just like a saying?
What? I've never heard this.
I'm not... Certainly, this is not something I have heard, but like when you're like you're trying to justify like, oh, it's fucked up that everyone eats turkeys for Thanksgiving, and people will like, oh, a turkey's so stupid, he'll stare up at the rain and with his mouth open and drown itself. Like, I don't know if that's like true, and then that's why they justify killing turkeys, or if just like someone has said that and it's. I'm googling this. I feel like an idiot right now. Turkey drown in rain. Yeah. Oh, it's a myth. Turkeys left outside in the rain have been known to look skyward and drown, but it's false.
Okay.
It says baby turkeys can drown in the rain, but you wouldn't leave a baby human outside alone either. Ugh, that's the justification.
That's cruel and unusual is what that sounds like.
Would a baby... Okay, whatever.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, girl. Wait, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, well, it is time for the dumpster fire of the week.
The New York Post brings us a wonderful story about the Fire Festival of Overnight Camps, closed after 6 days.
A pricey New Hampshire overnight camp was abruptly canceled after it descended into a Fyre Festival-like debacle, complete with tales of fistfights, unsanitary meals, and mass vomiting.
I mean, isn't that what summer camp is supposed to be?
I think a little less mass vomiting, a little less fistfights, and a little bit of unsanitary meals. Yes.
Did you ever go to summer camp?
Oh, I started going to camp when I was in the 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
And could not get enough of an overnight camp.
Yeah, you have camp energy for sure.
Yeah. I am like Jan from RuPaul All-Stars. Like, I'm 110% camp.
That is a niche reference.
Real heads will get it. Real heads will know. Okay. But yeah, I was a camp kid, 100%. And oh my God, trashy flashback. My first overnight camp, one of the people making the food, and this is what a garbage little child I was, he had a hook for a hand. And so I wouldn't eat any of the meals and opted to just make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for all of the meals where he was serving.
Oh.
Because I am certified trash from the womb.
I mean, that probably happens more often than you'd think because kids just don't understand the
complexities of someone that's lost a limb. I'm here, but that is, I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for my first camp experience.
Wow.
But at this camp.
Yes. Camp Keen Barge?
Keen Barge. Directors told parents who paid $3,400 for a 2-week stay to pick up their kids after only 6 days this month, following a summer of challenges that drew comparisons to the infamous Fyre Festival, the Boston Globe reported.
So this is an 85-year-old camp in Moultonborough, New Hampshire, and they blamed the closure on food supply problems, but parents later learned that the camp had a lot of issues, including undertrained counselors, and they were quitting and getting fired in mass.
Other problems included campers who attacked both staff and other children, dirty dishes provided at mealtime, and reports of multiple children vomiting and being quarantined, according to the article.
Now, I have a lot of questions that I feel like this article does not get into about this one camper who attacked a lot of people.
Yes, I need to know more about that camper and what emotional issues they're having.
Yeah, because there's like someone who, like an 8-year-old who said that they were hit in the head by that camper, the one who attacked staff members. And like, how old do you go to camp at 8? That feels young.
It does feel very young, but I also had overly attached parents who didn't want to let me out of their sight. So I had to claw tooth and nail to get to go to camp.
Man, I didn't go to camp at all, and I think it shows, as I am bougie. And
yeah,
I just can't imagine a sleepaway camp. Like, it's what?
One of the camps that I went to, the alumni group, is called OFUX. Oh. That's Oklahoma Farmers Union Camp Kids. And I giggle every time I think about it because I'm like, did no one think that this was not a good name for us?
Oh, that's their official name? You guys didn't just make that up?
It's like a Facebook group that's OFUCKS. Oklahoma Farmers Union Camp Kids.
Oh my God. Put an A, alumni, Camp Kid alumni. Oh, fucka.
Oh, fucka.
So there's a kid who wrote a letter home, which I love that in 2021, if you're at camp, you still have to pen a letter home. But the letter was provided to the newspaper by his father and said, should I do a little kid voice? I think I'm going to.
Mm-hmm. We have been in tears, bored, and devastated the whole day. The camp director is lying to you all.
The camper reportedly wrote.
You have to trust us. You have to. We're not joking, and we're not having fun. So many things are wrong with this place.
The camper added.
God, it gets getting younger as I go.
But I loved it.
Thank you. That would be a terrifying letter to receive as a parent.
You have to trust us. You have to.
It's like, whoa. Because either your kid's telling the truth, which hopefully is the kind of child you have, or this is all like an elaborate thing to just get picked up, in which case, like, you should probably pick your kid up and figure something out onto why they are lying in such a way.
Yeah, it's time for some therapy.
So they, like 2 weeks before the camp started, the director sent an urgent email to parents saying that they were in desperate need of additional staff for the summer and that their 15 staffers had recently dropped or ghosted their jobs.
I was hired about 4 days before campers arrived, said MJ Lowry, a 21-year-old counselor. They told us, hey, you were referred. We'll send you the application. You seem qualified. Do you want the position? I played kickball and got to see the turtle and the frog in the pond and learned about tadpoles. It was stuff like that. Lowry told the paper of her brief training.
I mean, it sounds like she had more of a camp experience just with the training. Like, I got to see the turtle and the frog in the pond.
Yeah.
I played kickball. So she got the camp experience.
One 19-year-old staffer, a former camper who had no intentions of working at Quinbarge, had accepted a last-minute job out of desperation. My options were either emergency housing or camp, Chris Bigler reportedly said.
So there was a broken dishwasher in the kitchen. So dirty dishes were given to kids at mealtime. And there was a cook that got fired after serving a staffer's child a mostly raw meatball.
Ooh, 4 children were also reportedly quarantined after experiencing unexplained bouts of vomiting during a trip.
Yeah, I don't think a summer camp is the place to start experimenting with beef tartare.
No. Have you had beef tartare?
No, I'm like, yes, I think, but also like there's just something that sounds gross about it, and I'll eat anything.
I've had it. It was ordered for me by like the manager of a restaurant who was comping our meal, so I felt obliged to eat, to try it. Right. But I mostly just pushed it around the plate to make it look like it was eaten some. That old trick.
Uh-huh.
Because it was not for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really will try anything. And if someone's like, this place has the best beef tartare, like, okay, I'll try it. But like, there's nothing appealing sounding to that. Like, I'll eat raw fish. But I just, no. And I'll eat a rare hamburger too. But
yeah,
something about it seems like not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Additionally, trans counselors said they did not feel comfortable at the LGBTQ-friendly summer camp, with several kids were withdrawn because their parents did not want them living among trans and non-binary campers and staff, the report said.
I mean, that's on the parents, not so much on the camp.
Or the children. Like, you can only be brought into an environment and form your own opinions, but if your parents are brainwashing you, you have to grow up and form your own opinions.
Yeah. I wonder if these people got a refund, because $3,400 for 6 days. I mean, that's high.
Pricey. There'll be a class action lawsuit to follow, which hopefully we can get in on.
Yeah. Yeah, because we talked about it. Apparently they're starting to prepare for summer 2022. So, bringing it back.
I mean, God bless him. Carlson, the camp director, said that he was prematurely closing due to food supply and industry-wide staffing issues. Yeah, right, dude.
I mean, but like maybe.
Truly.
That isn't necessarily a lie.
Yeah.
It's just more like close earlier. Don't try to just pull it out. It doesn't work, especially not with people's kids.
Exactly.
Are you hoarding anything?
I am. I'm hoarding a podcast called Bad Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just to surmise it gets into what it's about real quick, but it's about a murder-suicide, a true story of a murder-suicide told through the voice of the woman who committed the murder and the suicide. Like, she recorded herself. Her husband was having an affair with a much younger woman, and it's about her like mental breakdown. And she left like a 12-page note, and the husband, the fucking scumbag, wrote a book and went on Dr. Oz or Dr. Phil and wrote a book about his experience. And so he's actually interviewed on the podcast. It's really good. If you like true crime and you're into like murder and messed up things like I am, I'd recommend. It's on Podcast One Network. It's called Bad Bad Thing, and it's a very complicated story.
Sounds like 13 Reasons Why, but like real.
I haven't seen 13 Reasons Why, but I think I appreciate the comparison. Yeah.
Next time you come down with a cold and want to watch something that you can't quite put your finger on whether or not this is super, super problematic, give a gander to 13 Reasons Why, because it's like it hits some issues that are important, but you can't figure out if they stuck the landing with the execution. It's very it was like one of the most popular shows on Netflix, the first season that came out, and like, it's for teenagers and lots of controversy. So,
all right.
Yeah.
What are you hoarding?
Well, speaking of Netflix, they released 3 new episodes of Love is Blind After the Altar. Oh my God. Now, I'll tell you what, if you haven't watched Love is Blind, then you must not have been in the same pandemic as everyone else. Because, like, this show was released, I think, like, February of 2020, like, very, very, very early on when at least the United States was not in the throes of COVID, because I remember like watching it on Netflix and being like, this shit's dope. And then maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Maybe I'm thinking about The Circle. Either fucking way, they fall in love with each other. I don't need to fucking explain it to you. Watch the fucking season and then watch these 3 episodes. They're juicy. Some of these people, like there's one couple who are just genuinely great people and you're like excited for them, but everyone else is like creme de la creme, horrible garbage people, like really what I live for. I watched it a couple nights ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my story. I was not drinking that night. Like I was trying to like stay sober all week so I could like really go hard in Texas and not feel bad about it. And I didn't need it. I was high. I was high on adrenaline watching these 3 episodes of After the Altar. Like, like the exposition is kind of boring in the first episode because they're catching everybody up on what happened, and you're focusing on like the really like seemingly healthy couple. But when they get into the messy people, oh my God.
Was my queen, Jessica, who's 34, back?
Oh yeah, she's back. You almost feel bad for her, actually. No, like certified trash, can't get enough. Like Amber and Barnett, it's so weird. And like I don't want to spoil anything because like I really want people to watch it, and I especially don't want to spoil it for you, Erica, but like you have to watch it. You gotta text me, Erica, and reach out to me on Instagram, listeners, if you want to talk about it. Oh man, it was so good.
Are you throwing anything away?
I am, actually, as teased in the beginning of the episode. I'm throwing out JetBlue.
But they give you cookies.
I don't give a fuck, Erica. They can't give you cookies if they're canceling your fucking flight.
That's fair.
So there is a whopping 1 nonstop between Los Angeles and South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. And I have a wedding in South Carolina in November. So I booked the 1 nonstop, feeling confident and excited even to fly JetBlue, because I've only flown them like once before, and it was, like a long time ago. It was cool. And these fuckers sent an email this morning saying, your flight's canceled. We're taking it off the menu. Now, perhaps this is because there is trouble at JetBlue and maybe I shouldn't be throwing them out for this, but I just have to imagine. And by the way, I am not informing the bride about this. She listens to the podcast. That's her business. But like, I'm not going to let the bride know. I'm going to figure it out and like, it's fine. But I would really be curious to know how many people from that wedding were on that flight.
Yeah.
Seeing as it's the only one. They didn't cancel the nonstop coming home, but at this point, we're just going to get a refund and switch to a different airline because, I mean, the writing's on the wall. They're going to cancel that nonstop on the way home, too.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I could even just throw out the fact that there are no nonstops between LA and South Carolina. Like, it's a pretty hot destination for tourism. And I think outside of Vegas, it's the second most couples getting married in city in the United States.
Wow. I did not know that, but
Yeah,
that
fun
makes sense. Charleston is supposed to be beautiful.
Well, I'll let you know.
Let me know in November.
After a fucking, most likely a red eye where I'm connecting in Detroit or something.
Uh-huh.
I'll let you know how Charleston is.
And
What are you throwing out?
I think we've outgrown the need for Bill Maher. The left, the right,
wow.
the center. Everyone has just outgrown the need for your takes, sir.
I agree with that.
I spent the night with my Nana on Friday night, and she was watching it before she went to sleep. So I was also watching it before she went to sleep with her. And I was just like, who is this? Who is this for?
Yeah, no one good.
No one good. He's too, we've outgrown the need for Bill Maher.
Yeah. He's got some, although he is politically pretty liberal, he's kind of like the liberal that you get from like an art or an English professor, kind of that like sort of white male liberal where there's still a lot of misogyny and also like a lot of racism.
Yes.
And horrible jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I really, like, he kind of feels like the energy of if someone was like, I fucking really like Bill Maher, I'd be like, and what podcasts do you listen to?
Uh-huh.
I have a feeling you're going to say Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely feels like there's a Venn diagram there.
There's 100% an overlapping Venn diagram there.
Yeah.
What are you? You've already thrown something away.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, that's okay.
I got to get my podcast listening ears on.
Are you saying you don't listen to me?
Where can the people find you?
It's funny.
As always, you can find Cass Cardenas at Cass Cardenas on Instagram and Twitter, or on Tuesday nights on the Nooner Network, on the Smodcast Network. You can find me, Erica Curry, at Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram and at Gillygal on Twitter. And you can find this pod on www.trashytrashypodcast.com or on socials at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And hey, Cass, stay garbage. Bye-bye.